Hey everybody, it's Chuck Barone. It sure is on Wednesday, June the 26th. Man, this month went by so fast. 2024. Actually, I got to say, for the first time in a little while, not too much crazy today. Just a little bit. We still got a few things to talk about, but it was kind of nice to see the markets acting kind of normal. And it was just a kind of, it seems like the vibe on Wall Street is just a little bit strange right now. You got a lot of stuff looking kind of toppy, right? You got super high stock valuations, super high real estate prices. You got the dollar now back above 106. You got precious metals sitting at very high prices, not as high as they once were, but still very high prices. Oil overvalued. It's really fascinating, man. It's like fascinating stuff as you're looking at this market. It's like, okay, well, I guess everything's going fine, but is it really? So let's talk about some of the crazy today. But before I get rolling, welcome everybody to the show. Welcome to all my friends on the chat. Hey, Elevate's on today. Paradiddle, of course, my always. You got Salty, you got Attila, you got Wolf, you got Sarge on today. Hey, Wolf. Hey, by the way, Wolf, hang in there, buddy. Things will get better, man. We all have those kind of freaking days where it seems like everything goes wrong. Tomorrow will be the kind of day that evens everything out. That's usually the way the world works, especially when you're a good guy like you are. All right, so let's talk about markets today. It was a weird day, but one thing I liked today was Nasdaq up, S&P up, Dow Jones up. It's been so weird lately when you got uh, the wider markets, the Nasdaq and the S&P going up, and the narrower the Dow going down. That just seems so weird to me. So today they all rallied up. You had plus 15 points on the Dow, 39,127. Nice number there. Nasdaq up 87 points, 17,805. You got the S&P up 8 points, 5477. So I think the market's now kind of in a holding pattern today, tomorrow, waiting for that PCE number to come in on Friday and all kind of other data. We'll get jobless claims tomorrow. We got most of the data kind of was piled up into the end of the week here. The markets will react to some of this stuff, but the big one everybody's waiting for is Friday's PCE number. Okay, bond market. Bond market today selling off. Bond yields rising. 10-year up 7 basis points, 4.31%. 2-year up 6 basis points, 4.75%. So, again, just not much to really talk about in the bond market either. I mean, I think that when you see these higher yields, especially when it's not very consistent like it has been, this is just trading stuff. This isn't the bond market saying, oh shit, the Fed's not going to cut rates. When you see that, you see consecutive days with giant jumps in yield. Probably those days are coming because the markets are still factoring in all kind of craziness on rate cuts. Fascinating times. The dollar today, wow, nice day for the dollar, up 39 basis points on the index, 106.05, back above 106. Good, strong number for the dollar. I'm a strong dollar guy. I believe that, this is the best currency in the world. I'm an American. I still love the country, even though it's jacked up like crazy. And, I'm a nationalist. I'm going to root for a strong dollar. However, a strong dollar, not so great for gold and silver, right? So you had gold fall $21.70 today, $2,323.80 for an ounce of gold. Silver falls 8 cents, $28.72 for an ounce of silver. These numbers, I mean, these are still pretty strong valuations. I think at the beginning of the year, if they would have said, hey guys, here's where these numbers are going to be midway through the year, everybody would have celebrated. But because we had it up higher, we had silver almost $32. These numbers don't quite seem as satisfying. You got to kind of judge it back from the first of the year and see where we are from the first to now. And you can see gold and silver having a pretty strong year, right? Oil today up 7 cents a barrel, another non-event. $80.90 for a barrel of West Texas Intermediate. I haven't really got dug into this demand thing. I keep seeing the word oil rallies on hopes for higher demand. Hopes, man, hopes are a bad way to invest in the markets. If you hope something's going to happen or something's due, right? Those seldom work out in your favor. Bitcoin today down $894, 60,985 for Bitcoin. Still suffering through the throes of this correction. Interesting. Did you see Julian Assange? You know, he got a $500,000 fine. Did you see some anonymous donor donated 8 Bitcoin to him so he could start his new life debt-free? I thought that was pretty cool and a testimony to the strength of Bitcoin, because 6 Bitcoin or whatever it is, 8 Bitcoin can pay off a $500,000 debt. Wow, that's pretty cool. All right, so big news of the day, the Federal Reserve doing their annual stress test to all the major lending institutions. This is not just banks. They had American Express in there. They had some regional banks in there, not just the majors, not just the, the JP Morgans and the Bank of Americas and the Wells Fargo. The well here, guys, all 31 institutions that were tested passed a pretty heavy stress test. The way they did it, the stress test was pretty tough. It's probably something that won't come to reality. But this is the scenario they put them. Test said unemployment surges to 10%. Commercial real estate values crash 40%. Well, we're already there on commercial real estate, but that's another story. And housing prices fall 36%. Now, this would all be very, 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 very bad for banks, right? Big unemployment, real estate, which is where banks tend to invest a lot of their money, all crashing down. All the banks suffered pretty big losses, a total of $685 billion in losses. But all of them had considerably more left in their minimum capital requirement in reserve than they needed to stay afloat, so to speak, I guess, to stay above the line there. Interesting thing here, man. I think that this is not a terrible thing. I think that having the banks in a better position than we believe they are. Well, I'm not somebody that shits on bad news every day. I mean, so many people in this country are so jaundiced by the fake media, all the disinformation and all the bullshit we put, we get pounded into our brains every day, that everybody is super skeptical about everything. Nobody really, maybe if it's coming from their preferred source of information, they're going to believe it, but nobody else. Everybody very sour right now. I think that, if we can get a little bit of good news in this country, I'm not going to be the guy that shits on it every time we get good news. And banks being able to pass this stress test is good news for the American economy. All right, let's move on, guys. Some other crazies today. More than 46% of people working right now, no matter what their age, almost half the population, saving nothing for retirement. No 401ks, no IRAs, no nothing. Terrible, terrible thing we got going here. So basically, if these people don't get on the schneid, don't get it together, we're going to have half the population retiring into poverty, right? And they can't save for retirement. No wonder they can't put together the money for a house, right? Now, the way I was always taught, the easiest way to save is when the savings automatically come out of your money, much like a 401k, right? You get paid, the money for your 401k comes out before you even get your check, so you don't have to actually take any steps to put that money away. That's the best and easiest way to save money when it happens automatically like that. Even with that, people not saving for retirement. Now, I get it. Times are tough. Everything's expensive. It kind of sucks. And people are spending more and more of their income just to try to get by. They don't have the extra funds to save for retirement. I get that. But what happens is the decisions we make today tend to come back and kick us in the ass tomorrow if we don't get on top and tend to our store. So that was not news that I was happy to see today. Check this out, guys. Biden administration. I talked about this on the show before. The Biden administration is now allowing Freddie Mac. There's Fannie and Freddie, the two big, and then you have the VA and all. Anyway, our government's all into real estate, and Freddie is one of the big arms of that. The Biden administration okays Freddie now to start insuring second mortgages. Now, this is not news I'm for. Second mortgages, we already saw what happens to second mortgages back in the day in 2008 when everything went kablooey. Billions of dollars, billions and billions of dollars in second mortgages got wiped out. That's another story, though. But I don't like this idea. The reason the Biden administration, I guess, they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? And here's another note I made today. U.S. property owners, people who own houses in the U.S., sitting on $17 trillion worth of home equity. So the administration wants to get more people to tap into that $17 trillion in equity, spending it. They want everybody spending everything. They want nobody to hold on to anything. If you have equity in your home, guys, do not tap into it. Let it continue to grow. But now they're going to insure second mortgages, which will make them much, much, much easier to write. You'll see banks really going out of their way now to offer second mortgages. And the reason they're going to be popular is people don't want to give up their first mortgage with a 3% mortgage rate or whatever. They do want to tap into their equity. So you've seen home equity lines of credit, HELOCs, becoming a little more popular like they were back in the day. Now, they're a little bit different this time around. They're not as reckless with those as they were in 2006, 2007, where they would basically just give you a checkbook and you could write checks on your home equity. Well, now they're doing it a little bit differently, where you have to have a minimum withdrawal to start, like around $75,000, and then you can tap into it in increments from there. But guys, this is not going to end well. This is the one source of wealth the middle class still has. No one's saving money, right? People aren't saving for retirement. They're not saving in their savings accounts. I guess it's crazy, guys. It's just crazy. So they want everybody zeroed out, 17 trillion to zero. Let's see how long that takes, right? Supreme Court today. Did you see this, man? Our government, man, it's the best. So they passed an anti-corruption law for politicians where they couldn't take a bribe before the deal, right? That's illegal. But now, and they passed a law because what they were doing is they would pay them after they'd got whatever they wanted. They were calling it a gratuity. Like, you tip the waiter after a nice dinner, right? You tip your politician after he passes a bill you get or gives you a tax cut or whatever the hell you're trying to get from them. So they made all that illegal. Today, the Supreme Court said, nope, that's not illegal. In certain cases, you can show your gratitude to your political boppity-boopity-bop. Bottom line, now they're kind of even going further and further in making this corruption legal. It's crazy, guys. Your congressman should not be accepting gratuities from his constituency. At least that's my humble opinion. It's way, 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 way too close to bribery, because it is bribery, let's face it. And now we're going to make this legal and normal. It's just stupid, stupid, stupid. Amazon today. You saw these stocks now. They're the big battle between NVIDIA and Microsoft and who's worth the most. And Apple was the first, I think, to pass $1 trillion in value. Now I think they're around $3 trillion. That's where NVIDIA is. Amazon today goes over $2 trillion. Amazon, one of the biggest companies in the world, $2 trillion valuation for the company. You guys hear about Chipotle? Their stock is super expensive. They're going to top NVIDIA's 10-to-1 split. Chipotle going all in on a $50 5-to-1 stock split. I got to say, guys, I've seen a lot of stock splits in my career. I've been around Wall Street and stock markets for a long freaking time. I don't think I've ever seen a 50-for-1 stock split. Crazy. And I was reading this article, interestingly, too. Friday is the day we're going to get the PCE. The analysts believe that the PCE number is going to actually be a good one this Friday, which I've been warning you guys, it's probably going to work out that way. They need that number to be a good number. So the consensus says PCE top line will come in at 2.6% on Friday, which is basically unchanged from last month. And we'll get a core number of 2.6 as well, which will be down from 2.8%. So if these numbers are what we get, now we'll have to see. I want to see the fluff around it, right? Because this would kind of now move the Fed into a position where they really could consider rate cuts. I still don't think they will. And you saw Bowman and Daly and all the rest of these Fed yo-yos out all week talking about how, we're not there yet. Daly was the one saying that, the recent bumps in inflation have not inspired confidence. Bowman yesterday was saying that we're going to need to see rates higher for longer. I don't remember her exact quote, but it was pretty bearish about interest rate cuts. The market really wants them, right? As we've been saying. The market wants these rate cuts. Ultimately, they're going to get them. But what's going to be the catalyst, man? What's really going to happen? Is it going to be, which do you think is more likely? Inflation comes down to target and stays there, or we got a pretty serious recession, higher job losses, less economic activity. I think if we're going to get a rate cut, that is why we're going to, that's the reason we're going to get it. Not because everything's so beautiful on the inflation front of the economy. We're going to get rate cuts because there's going to be a recession. And you can see it now. I pointed it out a million times on the show, guys. You know what I've been saying. Consumer confidence, no savings, terrible bond auctions, people tapped out, nobody going to restaurants, no extra spending, nobody saving any money. But consumer confidence down. People think inflation is going to be elevated. Everybody angry. Political polarization. And on and on and on and on and on. Everything points to recession coming. Now, does that mean we're absolutely for sure going to get one? No. But it certainly doesn't lower the likelihood either, right? And I've been telling you guys, I really believe this is true. Interest rate cuts, or interest rate hikes, forgive me, interest rate hikes like the Fed has done, don't do jack. The interest rate hikes are not going to bring down inflation. The slowing of economic activity is what's going to bring down inflation. Now, what do they call a slowdown in economic activity? Typically, it's called a recession. That's what we're going to get. Probably going to be led by real estate because the market's just in the shitter. New home sales completely in the frickin' tank. People can't buy real estate. Only the wealthy, only the corporate world, big, the PEs, the private equity groups and the venture capital groups, or whoever does there's so many different little labels on all these groups now. The bottom line is people can't buy houses. And that is the foundation of wealth, if you ask me. Owning your house, building that equity, it gives you that start, the start of building real wealth. Hopefully that as your equity going to continue to rise as your property values go up and you pay your loans down or off. Guys, it's just all a big swirl of bullshit. Anyway, tomorrow's a big day. We'll get jobless tomorrow. We'll get all kind of crazy stuff. I'll be all dressed up tomorrow too, man. I'll have a tie on. You guys will be like, I'll get some comments on that. I got a funeral tomorrow. Brother died, and we're laying him to rest out at the VA cemetery in Boulder City here in southern Nevada. And got to be there early, but I'll keep my tie on just so you guys can see how freaking handsome I am once in a while when I dress up. Anyway, That's it for the day, guys. Thank you all so much. Hey, Jordan, how you doing? Nice to see everybody on the chat. Zoot on there. We got the Sarge on there. We got Big Ed Sullivan on there. All my favorites. Nice to see you guys. We'll be back tomorrow to bring you guys the news you need. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. That helps our algorithm. It gets the video out, gets it viewed by a few more people. We could use that. Would appreciate it. In the meantime, until tomorrow's madness, everybody take care. Thanks.